wants to get crazy for New Year. Good evening, my Friday frolickers, and I hope everybody is very, very well. And Happy New Year, my good friends. Let's just see who's in the chat. Sorry for all you speakers were a bit knackered, but I just couldn't resist. Good evening, my good friend Dad Archive. I hope you're very, very well. Good evening, Reagan Elite. Please subscribe to the fantastic channel that is Reagan Elite. Trying to get to 2,000 subs. Let's see if we can get him there. and good evening to one of my fantastic moderators, Alistair. I hope you're very, very well. Alistair Care. I hope you're very, very well. And good evening, my running mate, Billy Kershaw, my running mate, muchus Bradford, why don't we don't need no stinking Bradfords? No, we certainly don't. And good evening to my lovely daughter. I've got a couple of early videos for you just to cheer you up. My daughter's not feeling the best, got a bit of a dodgy cough, so please send my lovely daughter some love. And she's proper got the cough drop today. Well, for the last while, you know. Man, sure, I think all my kids have got it. Even my wife got it, and even my wife got it, and the only one who's escaped it is me. I don't know what it is, but I just must be fortunate. Yes. Good evening, Simon says. Hope you're well. And good evening, Flummox. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm sorry about your loudspeakers, my friend. I do apologise. I think she needs help a lot. Oh, yes. Good evening, Stephen Binning. Hope you're well. And good evening, Dennis Pennis. Hope you're well. Yes. And I think that's everybody in the chat so far. Yes, I'm sorry, when I saw that, I just couldn't resist. Because for a simple reason, I thought it was just rather apt for the start of the year, get us all into the mood for the start of the year. And I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas and a wonderful New Year, because I know we did. And as you can see, wearing the fantastic jumper that my daughter got me. Yes, absolute work of genius. Bit of help from my beautiful wife. You know, we managed to get this for Christmas. Well, proud of it. but anyway, I do hope you're going to have a crazy New Year. And let's just say, if you want to have a crazy New Year, give us a thumbs up, and because you know you want to. But anyway, let's just say, as I was going through, you know, it's still being the little bit of the Christmassy type, and I found her with my daughter, you know, not feeling at her best, and so I just thought, had a couple of lovely little leftover videos from Christmassy time where I just thought would just cheer her up a little bit, because I know what my daughter likes and I know what she enjoys, but I've just found these two little gems to just cheer her up, you know, because when it comes to Christmas, you know, I wonder if any of you, my wonderful Friday frolickers, did you get any carol singers at the door, you know, bringing goodwill and festive cheer? And if you did they sing as beautiful and as pure as this dynamic duo? But I must warn you, I hope you have a box of tissues nearby, because there won't be a dry eye in the chat. And let's just say, enjoy the wonderful soul voice as they sing Silent Night. Enjoy, my friends.
Silent night, holy night.
I hear you. All is calm. All is bright. Round your virgin mother and child.
Silent night, holy night.
I hear you.
I knew you'd enjoy that. Good evening, Scott. I hope you're well. I hope you're very, very well. You've just missed the Victoria Townsend. Good evening. Yes, it's 2025 going to be a roller coaster of damp squib. Grease Weller and her delightful husband is living in the Trumpian dystopia. No carol singers around me. Well, my daughter, she is the bit of a, well, you could say she is the animal type, you know, so I knew she'd really, really appreciate that one. Yeah, yes. She's absolutely cute. And her voice, that wonderful voice, you know, just got you there, didn't it? Emotion was just so deep. I knew you'd appreciate that, like, but I'll just say, love me fantastic huggy. So thank you very much for that. But now, all of a sudden, now this is the next one, because I've had this one a while ago, but I just missed it. But with my daughter being not feeling too well, and I know what my daughter likes. I'll say she loves doggies. You know, give her a doggy for half an hour, and she'll be happy as Larry. But also, you could give my daughter the most hilarious, outrageous, or the most subtle jokes, and this is a bit of a tribute to the Christmas #1 this year. And let's just say, of all you can be as subtle or as outrageous or as unique as you want, the best joke in the world, nothing will ever replace have my daughter on the floor giggling away in hysterics of laughter at toilet humour.
This Christmas I did a big fart, and the very next day the smell went away. But then I farted again, and now our house smells quite special. Smelly Christmas. One was deadly, one was shy. So keep your distance, if you taste them, you might cry. My sister smelled dead, but I'm the one who dealt it. I swear I tried to hold him in, but I couldn't help it. This Christmas,
yes, I knew you'd appreciate
did a big
that.
Fart, and the very next day, the smell went.
Ah, that'll do. Sorry, my Friday frolickers. It was just something I wanted to cheer my daughter up. But that's the end of the silly Christmassy stuff, and I'm sorry, my daughter. I knew I just wanted to just cheer you up, you know, get you feeling much more happier, because I know you've been all three of you have had the cough drop this year, but but what we'll say is clearly in the household. What we'll say is that clearly they didn't cook the sprouts in that house properly, did they? There's a certain way, so you don't actually stink the house out full of farts. But like as I say, when it comes to my daughter, nothing has her on the floor quicker than somebody, you know, opening up their butt cheeks and dropping a massive thunderous whiffer. Yes, it's too. Yeah, it is a bit. Gonna be. Yeah, it's Scott. It will be a bit of a ride. This is not. Yes, as I say, sorry about that. Not good for your cough, but but as I say, that's. I like. Yeah, I knew you because I know what you like. You enjoy your toilet humour, but as I say, you know, I know you enjoy you, especially when your brother drops one. Because he has that unique gift of having that, you know, juvenile, proud grin on his face after he's dropped an absolute massive, and what's his usual saying now, just release the crap on. You know what him brother's like, so. Is that the fart humour finished? I hope not. Well, maybe not. Now, I have to say, you remember when the how can I put it? When the lunatics were, let's just say, they had taken control of the asylum, you know, and yes. We're back to Private Eye. Got a couple of belters here. Well, this was on their Christmas tour, but, you know, a bit of a review of the... and hello, global citizen. I hope you're well. Good evening. Yeah, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Yeah, Happy New Year to you all. Hope you're all doing very, very well, and hope you've had a very Merry Christmas as well. But, you know, when they were running the asylum, you know, after our Spaffer had, you know, soiled himself and was, you know, eventually told to, you know, sling his hook. Now, was it because he'd broken the rules? You know, him and his government had said, no, we're not to do that, would it? Or, you know, lying to Parliament, and not even for dithering and delaying, you know, making decisions, you know, to protect, you know, us mere plebs, you know, because, like, let's be honest, they don't really give a fuck about us. It was... they don't really give a shit about us. And they only got rid of him, let's be honest, for one simple reason, wasn't it? Because he did something that affected them, didn't he? He put Chris Pincher in, was it Chief Whip? You know, can you imagine, you know, you're a male MP, a Tory MP, and you say, oh, Spaffer, one of your MPs has just sexually assaulted me. Well, go see the Chief Whip. One slight problem, Spaffer. It was the Chief Whip that had his hand down my crotch. You know, where do you go from there? So the only reason why they wanted to get shut of him, because he did something that affected them, didn't he? You know, but then, you know, after they got shut of him, you know, them swivel-eyed loon members, you know, in the membership, they thought, you know, that cosplaying Maggie Thatcher cosplaying Dizzy Lizzie, why don't we let her have a go at, you know, being PM? You know, what could possibly go wrong? And then she had that flash of genius to give unfunded tax cuts. Then she had the flash of, then crashed the economy, didn't she, with a catastrophic mini budget. And, well, we have a bit of an exclusive interview with Private Eye with Lettuce Liz, where she reveals who's to blame for her mini budget and a quick demise as Prime Minister. Take it away. Oops.
Of Liz Truss's autobiography, Private Eye was delighted to run a mini serialisation of Liz Truss's autobiography, 10 Years to Save the West.
In my totes amazeballs work, 10 minutes to write this book, I detail who is to blame for the total collapse of the British economy after my mini budget, which led to the premature end of my premiership. And I can exclusively reveal that it was all the fault of the following: the Blob, Tony Blair, virtue signalling eco-zealots, the Anti-Growth Coalition, the Anti-Freeze Coalition, the Tony Blob, the Deep State, the Deep Fat Fryer, the Bank of England, the Bank of Mum and Dad, lefty lawyers, righty lawyers, in-betweeny lawyers, the wokerati, snowflakes, cornflakes, Cadbury's flakes, Flake News, the OBR, the OBN, the OBE, the Obi-Wan Kenobi, the IMF, the IDF, IDS, the IRA, VAR, MFI, MI5, the Jackson 5, the Famous 5, the Secret 7, the BBC, Joe Biden, Joe Pasquale, Joe 90, Jeremy Hunt, the Queen, John Lewis, Ocado, lettuce. Everyone I ever worked with, everyone I haven't ever worked with, everyone but me. I know!
Liz Truss. Private Eye was delighted to...
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, let's say that clears that up, doesn't it? Yeah, imagine, you know, it's everyone else's fault except hers, isn't it? You know, typical Tory. Now imagine if you or I, you know, I thought about this a lot. We all have a fun and laugh and games about it, but imagine if you and I had worked in a business and we were solely responsible for it going bust. Do you think we would be facing serious consequences? You can bet your bottom dollar we would, wouldn't we? You know, and we'd be facing it for a long time and we'd never be able to live it down. Well, when I watched that clip, I found this next one and I just thought I'd rather out, you know, because I won't say it was a bit of the class war bit, but for me, it just sums up that people like her and the establishment as well never face the consequences, you know, of their own actions, and they're just, even though it was the embarrassment of, you know, not being recognised, but it's just the look on her face that rather rankled me.
Well, Dr. Jim, of the three, which one have you the most hope for?
I couldn't pick between the three of them. I mean, Subsequent's done it. He's proven it. The other two, a lot of potential there, so time will tell.
Well, it will. In a few minutes' time, two of those trainers could be very worried if the other wins. Good luck.
I don't think so. They'll all be happy.
Thank you, Dr. Jim.
It's Liz Truss, wasn't it? It was. My eyes are not deceiving me. This market could crash any minute, couldn't it? Subsequent 3-1 with French Duke 3-1.
Yeah, exactly. My son interviewed Liz Truss for his journalism course, and he couldn't believe how thick she was. Like, literally stunned that someone with such a low IQ could be an MP. Yeah. What consequences? 15-1. Yes. What would be funny thing about that? Because she come out with some some really ridiculous, stunning words like, yeah, the woke blob and stuff like that. Some of them just escape me, but to me, when I was watching that, I just think, look at that stupid grin on her face. You know, wandered around, probably, I think, what it Ascot, you know, Ascot, you know, without a care in the world. Pork markets, yes, was a Liz Truss classic, certainly was. pork market's 3-1 on favourite. Yes, that is a disgrace. 5-1. And, you know, she's there, you know, with that stupid fucking grin on her face, you know. Then you see the commentators giggling and laughing, don't you? But let's be honest here, you know, a mini budget on a serious side did destroy a lot of people's, you know, hopes and dreams, didn't it? You know, imagine you've worked, well, or naturally worked, but, you know, scrimped and scraped and saved much, you know, pay the deposit, you know, so you can get your dream home and whatnot, and I find a deal, you know, falling through over the week or at the 11th hour because her and a clown of a chancellor, you know, had crashed the economy, and from what I heard, the pensions, they weren't in a too good a state as well, were they? You know, but look at her with that stupid grin on her face. She looks ridiculous, didn't she? But yeah, Alistair K, yeah. Can we hit 20 likes to match who is watching? Thanks. Yeah, this, I'll say, I have no idea how many are watching at the moment, but epic farts shuts video. That's the funniest fart video on YouTube. Yes. Have you ever seen that one where that American's walking through park and he just opens his butt cheek, you know, in front of her? Yeah. Look forward to private eye year-round tips. Yeah, I do, Scott. They're absolutely brilliant. They're an hour of fun and frolic. And so, I've like, over the last few weeks, I've just managed to find a few belting little clips that have, you know, just kept me going, you know, through the festive period. But yeah, what consequences? I've uncovered the Q story that as swivel-eyed loonies having fits. No, I haven't. Global citizen. As I've to be fair, I've been sort of like getting through a bit of a back catalogue of sort of like looking, you know, looking at some of the select committee meetings, because like I've had a good little go around the liaison committee meeting. That was quite interesting. You know, it's like what I found quite annoying about the liaison committee meeting after it. What I found enjoyable, whether you agree with him politically or not, it was something that you could say that we've not been used to for a while. He went there prepared. He had all his paperwork in order, you know, all his ducks in a row. And he knew exactly what he wanted. If he had any statistics or facts there, it was there for him, you know. So, and I've been watching it, and let's just say there was some really good little bits of interviews in there. But like I did see a headliner, and I'm thinking, am I missing something? I now I could be wrong on this. My first thought were they about a 3-hour queue or something? Now, I'm sure the MI5 Secret Service won't be that keen on him stood in a queue, stood in a queue, you know, or, you know, in full view. I'm not sure they'll be able to guarantee his safety or something. I didn't read the article. I just think, really, is that the best you've got? It's not exactly, you know, the end of his political career, is it? I know somebody say, well, it's not good optics, and possibly isn't, but I just think they even criticise him for his end of year speech. I didn't watch it because they're just like any other end of year speech, aren't they? You know, can't be bad enough because I didn't watch hers. No real interest. They're just basically same words as what probably the last Prime Minister said in his, you know, end of year speech. So, but yeah, that's something that really gets to me, because like what got to me was because after the liaison committee meeting, they were all doing these ridiculous, stupid pictures of him sat there, you know, with apparently he's got this stupid grin on his thinking, well, he's going to have an easy ride because it's full of Labour support. And guarantee you, he didn't have an easy ride. I guarantee you that. He won't. Don't get me wrong, want as confrontational as much, but they didn't let him off the hook. That's what he want. Tickle his belly. It's like the chair of the Housing Select Committee. Housing Select Committee meeting. I've forgotten the full name of it. It's like she was talking about the local housing allowance. I think that's been frozen, and she wasn't impressed. And there were one or two others. Liam Byrne, he started talking about Trump. And there's one or two in there, so I'll be doing a few videos on that. And I did one on the I watched West Street on health and social care. I've got a juicy video in there that is interesting, and I watched Yvette Cooper's Home Affairs Select Committee meeting. And one thing I did notice, that when you watch these Select Committee meetings, there's not a right lot of, there's no idiots in the room, they're adults in the room, and I always thought it'd be good to have a member of the public on some of these committees. Yeah, I totally agree, Scott. Yeah, I won't have a problem with that. Probably not me, because I don't think they'd be happy with my Bradford City hat on. But anyway, let's get back to this bit of the Friday frolics. But like I say, that's what I've been doing, and I'll probably get back to them over the weekend, but won't be tomorrow. Football, early start, so. And I'll wake up and smell the rosemaries. I hope you well, my friend. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And I hope you had a lovely Christmas as well. But let's get back to it. As we say, there was another scandal that you could say rocked the political landscape and hit the new Labour government, that rocked their very foundations, and so bad it would have made our Spaffer look like an innocent choir boy. Yes, the Labour freebies scandal. And we're heading back to Private Eye, where they managed to get hold of Labour government's WhatsApp messages. Oops. Let me just.
Fortunately, Private Eye was leaked the entire WhatsApp group of the new government. Sir Keir Starmer.
I want us to concentrate on the important issues rather than gossip and tittle-tattle on about what I'm wearing and who paid for it.
Angela Rayner.
Yeah, everyone should just put a sock in it.
Lord Wahid Ali.
Socks? Who wants socks? Egyptian cotton, designer footwear.
Morgan McSweeney.
The boss is right. No more talk about freebies. The optics are terrible.
Lord Ali.
Optics? Anyone need glasses?
Rachel Reeves.
Let's be honest, PM. It is a bit of a problem.
I can't see it.
What do you need? Varifocals? Bifocals?
It's a media storm. Someone leaked this. I've been stitched up.
Garment alterations, invisible mending, I could sort it.
There's nothing wrong with me taking tickets to the Taylor Swift concert. It was a sellout.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Keir.
Any suggestion of impropriety is nonsense. I don't buy it.
Of course not, Keir. You must not buy anything.
Oh, gotta love Private Eye. Yeah, absolutely. Wake up and smell the roses. I love Private Eye. They're just brilliant. I say when it comes, is where, yeah, it is done. Westminster. I love it when the Scots call it Westminster. Makes me chuckle. In my opinion, not like the pantomime that is PMQs. Yeah, totally. I know what you mean. You know, because what I find interesting is the fact that when you watch the Conservatives, well, it Kemi Badenough, you know, trying to hold this government to account, it's just looks ridiculously fake and stupid, doesn't it? Because they've been there for 14 years and they've probably been most of the sole causes of the mess that we're in as a country out there. But anyway, good evening, Mark Telfer. I hope you're well, my friend, and I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a brilliant New Year as well. But yeah. Now, I remember at the time when I saw this all unfolding, I'm sat there thinking, great executive journalism or whatever, you know, you can quite easily look this up on, you know, the whatever they call it, of interests and declarations and stuff like that. I was like, it's not really. Is this the level of journalism we're going now? You know, look at what they've declared and just make something out of it. Because like I do remember, I might have actually put it on this one of my Friday frolics a couple of weeks ago, where it was with West Street, you know, where he spoke about, you know, about the other way around this, you know, when he spoke about, if I remember rightly, well, how else do you want to do it? Do you want the public to fund parties through their taxes? And I thought, that's something I've never really thought of before, and I'm thinking, don't know about you, but I don't think the public could go for that. So, and I just wonder if they're not going to do it through donations like this, or however they're doing. It's not really something I've really looked up. Maybe I should do. Maybe it's something do as a bit of a side project, learn more about, and maybe make a bit of a video out of it of some sort. Who knows? Oh, cheers for that. Yeah, cheers for that, Alistair. You know, if you want to watch the whole of the Private Eye 2024, I highly recommend it. It is brilliant, absolutely hilariously funny. An hour of hilarity. But you know, but it was, when I heard him talk about it, I just thought it was a bit of an interesting take. But we could have a bit of a master plan here for. I think it has to come up, or else it'll just be swamped with cash and ultra rich. Yeah. It's. I suppose in a way, if it does come from taxes, I suppose it'd be money from the people, and they would own the parties possibly. Who knows? You know, maybe it's something I could look up on. You know, I've been looking at interesting ideas, you know, for video ideas. But, you know, like, you know, but here's a little bit of a Mark Spicer. Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't it? Especially when he does is it the room next door or something? hilariously funny. He's just a comical genius. But like, when it comes close to the election time, and if things are not really going well, perhaps our Keir Starmer should do exactly what Jim Callaghan did on Christmas Day in 1978. And
Go away, I'm not coming out. It's taken me a lifetime to get into this place. Now that I'm here, I intend to stay. Why do you think you're still waiting for a general election?
It's all right, we're not from the Conservatives. We're carol singers.
Oh, I see. Carol singers. Oh, well, I might have known you weren't from the Conservative Party. You were all singing the same tune. But I might as well tell you, if you're looking for money, you've come to the wrong place. You want Dennis Healy down the road.
We've already tried there. He just slammed the door in our faces.
Yes, I can never get any change out of him either. Tell me, who are you collecting for?
Oh, we're collecting for the poor.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. I'll be very, very pleased about this. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to
you. Yeah, maybe that's what he should do next. Give me a quick sec. Oh. We'll be quick. Get that back up there. Oh, we're all cooking on gas. Yes, I'm just wondering if them people in modern times, you know, they knocked on Rachel Reeves's door. Would they got much change out of our new Chancellor? Probably not. But one thing I do know, I get the feeling she would. Yes, I used to remember watching Mike Yarwood as a kid as well. But do you think these people collecting for the poor for the cat knocked on Rachel Reeves's door? Would they have made her pet peeves get onto it in their own Skinner? yeah. He was very, very good one. You know, was Mike Yarwood absolutely brilliant. I remember watching it growing up myself. You know. Yeah, so I know the feeling, Alistair Carey. You know, when I was watching it, when I watched it, I felt incredibly old. I could imagine my daughter in the chat will be thinking, "Who's Mike Yarwood?" Yes, he was a very, very good impressionist. But yeah. Yeah, he does make me laugh out loud as well. Yeah, probably got 16 million viewers to different times, both good and bad. Yeah, you're probably right there. Yeah, especially if they had a Palestinian flag. I used to love the two Johns on Rory Bremner. Very clever stuff. Yeah, exactly. My daughter will again. Ooh. Now this is something I don't normally do on Friday, but it's something that I just found incredibly grating. Incredibly grating. It's like there you had the Mike Yarwood doing a fantastic, you know, legendary impression of a politician. Now, and as we say, some people have the talent to be a wonderful politician, but unfortunately, some others don't.
You know, he's showing the world what happens when you try and reverse 100 years of rampant socialism. And Argentina is now hopefully going to be on the upward curve. I think she's certainly showing signs of it. Certainly looking at the share price of her bank stocks and everything else, she's starting to show signs that she's returning to some form of common sense. You know, he's showing the world what happens when you try and reverse 100 years of rampant socialism. And
yes, 100 years of rampant socialism. Yeah. Apparently, according to this clown, what he's doing in Argentina is working. We must follow his lead. Fire up the chainsaw. That's what they're going. So, oh, well, Rupert Law, he must know what he's talking about, doesn't he? Clearly, he does know what he's talking about, doesn't he? So, yes, clearly he knows what he's talking about. Yes, well, so I thought we'll do a little bit of a digging, and I found this article. And is this a disaster? Now, I'm not going to try and call this clown his name. I'm just going to call him Javier Mental Case, because for me, that's all he is. And a year into Javier Mental Case's presidency, Argentina poverty has hit a new high. Yes. Yes, this is in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where now there's going to be a few people, there's going to be a few names on here that are going to, where the first name is going to have 35 vowels in them. Of course they do, you know, because why don't they basically have normal names, you know, like Diane Adams or Marina Alistair or whatever, you know. Make it easy for this poor Yorkshire lad to pronounce these names. But anyway, we'll get through this. But let's just say this is not to be laughed at. You know, Marianella Abasta, sorry if I butchered it, 24, has never been to a soup kitchen before. Now she sits on an old school chair in a busy courtyard outside one, eating a ravioli stew from a disposable plastic container. Yes, as you can tell, this woman's clearly on her uppers, you know, so Rupert Law knows what he's talking about. She and her 4-year-old daughter, Alma, wait for her husband, Sal, I don't know if that's said right, 36, to finish having a shower inside the facility, which also offers hygiene services. It's an unusual warm November afternoon in Buenos Aires, and Abasto looks exhausted. And over the past year, Abasto lost her home. She blames the Argentinian government for her present circumstances, saying it's very hard before we had a home. We had access to subsidies, but the government suddenly took everything away. Abasto told Al Jazeera, with her face a mix of sadness and resignation, "I don't know what we are going to do." Have a word with Rupert Law. Maybe he can help you. Maybe he knows what he speaks of. Yeah, Abasto is one of the increasing numbers of Argentinians who fell deeper into poverty during the first year of Javier Mental Case's presidency. For nearly 40 years, Argentina's poverty levels constantly hovered about 25%. But since the far-right Mental Case took office in December the 10th, 2023, the figure has skyrocketed. Over the last year, poverty rate reached nearly 53%. That is the highest level in 20 years, according to a research team at the Argentine Catholic University, or the UCA, that has kept track of key economic indicators. Now, if you hand them over to Rupert Fuckface Law, he'll probably just say, "Oh, wokey fake news. That's what they always do, don't they? And that spike has led experts to advocates to increasingly question mental cases' chainsaw approach to slashing public spending and its consequences. Yeah, and when I read this, I look at that lovely little child's smile. What a gorgeous little smile, and she doesn't deserve to be in a situation like that. And also, you can see how exhausted she looks. She looks shattered, doesn't she? And trying to put a brave face on it. I just feel so sorry for him. And that lovely little child, she don't deserve that. What's happening to her? Poor kid. Anyway, you're in for a bumpy ride, my friends. You are. Edwana Donza. Thank God I've got somebody with a more simpler name. This should be easy enough. One of the experts behind the UCA study warned that those who fell under the poverty line this year, including people with jobs and higher education. This is the result of a number of structural issues, including the drastic devaluation of the peso, which was part of Mental Case's shock economic plan. Donza told Al Jazeera, Argentina is a very particular country when it comes to types of devaluations directly impacting prices. Also criticised the Mental Case's sweeping changes to the economy, which he dubbed could backfire, which he warned could backfire. And he also said the outlook is challenging, and saying the government believes that by fixing the microeconomic variables, they can fix the overall economy, but that doesn't necessarily work in practice. But yeah, they say gains and losses. Now, until recently, Basta and her family lived in a small flat in a neighbourhood of Barrio, I'm not sure if that's said right, but called Padre Mugica. Get the teeth in. One of the largest slums in the Argentinian capital. Sal, electrician, so he's not some goat herder, is he? Made just enough money for rent and food, while Abasta did odd jobs to cover the rest. Both were struggling to find work, but 2 months ago their rent mushroomed from 90,000 Argentinian pesos to 150,000, a leap from roughly $88 to $148. It was beyond their ability to afford, and since then the family has been living on the streets, collecting cardboard to sell, asking restaurants for leftovers and looking for work. Sal even carries his tools in a small black backpack just in case an opportunity presents itself. So if Rupert Lowe was ready to say to him, that lad should get on his bike and look for work, I think he's already doing that, isn't it? And yeah, exactly, Stephen Benning. Yeah, it's up 166%. Also, Abasta did not have a formal contract with her former landlord, but even among residents who do, changes under mental case have affected their ability to pay their rent. Argentina's rent control law was one of the first casualty of the mental cases administration when it took power last December. And initially a dark horse for the presidency, mental case successfully campaigned on a promise to peel back regulations and fix Argentina's it just sounds so wrong when I say it, ailing economy. Now the apartment rental market was one of the initial areas to receive what mental case has called his economic shock therapy. You know, all these two-worded slogans. Where have we heard all that before? And without rent control, the supply of available properties has surged, and owners have been able to adjust rents to better reflect inflation. Nearly said influenza then, idiot. Rent can be increased every 3 months. Unbelievable. Look at this idiot. Was it with populists and ridiculous haircuts? There must be a bit of a trend, and but low-income workers said the lack of protections have caused price hikes they cannot afford. And it goes on, other economic policies have likewise produced mixed results. Mental Case pursued a platform that included cuts to public spending, among them subsidies for public transportation, education and social programmes. What a shocker, eh? Yes, it's usually the what you class the lower end who, let's just say, they face the brunt of it, don't they? And also these measures have helped, say, achieve balanced budget and the lowest monthly growth in inflation in 3 years. But there's also been a decrease in economic activity. It's obvious, isn't it? If you've got no money, you can't spend what you don't have, do you? Supermarket sales have dropped and unemployment has increased. Without price controls for services like electricity and gas, utility rates have also spiralled higher. Spending on gas, for example, increased by 715% between last December and October. Soup kitchens, like the one in Buenos Aires, have already switched to cooking over burning wood in order to save money on gas. Yes, and now I understand what Rupert Clown Show Low's on about. You can definitely tell Argentina is on its upper, isn't it? The people are absolutely living it up, aren't they? Good evening, Joe. I hope you're very, very well. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a fantastic New Year. And I hope you do have a very prosperous one. Everybody else does here. But this is desperate stuff, Like it says, nobody has any money. And nevertheless, as I say, I call him Mental Case, because he just sounds like one of it. Mental Case enjoys it. This is bonkers for me. Another year of this, I don't think it'll continue. I don't think he'll continue to have a relatively high public rating. A survey conducted by for Bloomberg News shows him with nearly 47% support as of November. But Donza, the researcher at UCA, said the short-term gains may conceal trouble ahead, particularly for Argentina's most vulnerable groups, saying they thought the economy was going to improve automatically, and that is just not happening. And goes on to say, what we need is long-term policies and measures to develop Argentina's industry for the long term. Already at the soup kitchen in Buenos Aires, public opinion is starting to sour. No shit, Sherlock. I can imagine it will be, another year of stood in queues, waiting to get food, and you're already hungry. I can imagine the public's popularity will soar. But anyway, outside the building, a long queue of people holding empty food containers, pans and even buckets wait for food under the scorching November sun. There are women holding young children, pensioners and teenagers. It's midday, but some of the soup kitchen clients arrived as early as 7 a.m. to secure a spot in line. Yeah, clearly Argentina is well and truly on its uppers. They're showing the way to economic prosperity, aren't they? Rupert Lloyd's an absolute berk, innit? And that's it. This Ines Fernandez, sorry for butchering it, said this year has been a disaster. Nobody has any money. An 80-year-old merchant who sells packets of pocket tissues told Al Jazeera as she stood in the queue for a meal. She and her daughter have been forced to live in a hotel room as rentals prices crept beyond their reaches. Even basic food items like tomatoes have become a luxury. And this is shocking, is it? You know, when it comes to, you know, your essentials, you know, just barely. This is last year we used to be able to make these meals with lettuce, tomatoes, and carrots. We used to buy a kilo of tomatoes for each large salad, Fernandez says. Now we can barely put one in. Money is just too tight. And if you think, oh, if you think it gets worse, it gets worse. How is the government handling all this? Oh, you'll be surprised. The soup kitchen is run by the Union of Informal Economic Workers, or UTEP, an organisation that represents employees without contracts or in unregulated industries. These employees make up close to half of Argentina's workforce. I've got to say it right. And poverty among the group is high. Close to 66% are considered impoverished. But groups like UTEP have repeatedly clashed with mental cases government over the past year as government funds have dwindled. Once mental case took office, UTEP said the government stopped sending food supplies to soup kitchens as he had standard practice, but as had been standard practice before. Yeah. I was going to say, it gets worse. Without assistance from the federal government, the soup kitchens struggled to meet demand. According to UTEP organisations, they turned instead to support from local governments and individual donations. And like as I say earlier on, nobody's got any money. If you ain't got any money, you can't really give any donations, can you? And finding donations is a struggle, so it feels like we have to make magic to cook for more people with the same amount of ingredients. This feels worse than during the pandemic, said Laura Gotte, 51 of the soup kitchens coordinators, saying that she noted the public demand was outstripping supplies as poverty has increased. And last year, we used to make 13 large pots of food 3 times a week. Now we cook 23 large pots, and it's still not enough. And then in February, UTEP sued Mental Cases Administration to force it to deliver an estimated 6,000 tonnes of food being stored in government warehouses. And in October, a federal judge actually ruled in UTEP's favour, but the food has yet to be delivered. Has the case been appealed? Of course it would be. Absolutely global citizen. They need to get 30p Lee out there. Don't they? He'll have it sorted, won't he? He sounds like he knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? But anyway. Mental Case and his allies, now this will make your blood boil, meanwhile, have accused soup kitchens of corruption without offering proof. Advocates said Mental Case has taken a combative approach to social outreach programmes, even as the increasing poverty rate heightens demand for their services. And there's demonisation of social organisations and of women in particular, said Fernando Minio, 49, a community leader from La Cava, a marginalised neighbourhood in the Greater Buenos Aires areas. Before mental case took office, Munoz said she was in charge of a federal funded program to improve infrastructure in underdeveloped areas. Its work included building homes, paving roads, and installing water, electricity, and sewerage services. But funding for the program was cut after mental case accused Munoz of corruption this year. Since then, a government investigation found no irregularities in her work. Nevertheless, in October, armed federal police entered Munoz's house, allegedly looking for a stolen car. I'd love to know how you managed to hide a stolen car in your house. But anyway, she said the raid was part of an ongoing government harassment, saying they attacked us because we are women and because we are poor. Sounds about right, doesn't it? Also saying, sitting in a living room in her home in the Carver, saying, I resent the fact that they think that because we are women from the barrios, I don't know if I said that, we cannot do anything other than stir a soup pot, that we can't we cannot lead projects. Yeah, it does sound like, yeah, I think you're onto something there. I think I just seem to think that you're only there for slaving behind the kitchen and probably just making babies as well. Yeah. Oh, this is proper divide and conquer tactics. Is this? Oh, you won't believe this. In lieu of addressing poverty through community programs, mental cases government has suggested a more individual approach. When confronted by protesters in February, Sandra Petervello, the Minister of Human Capital, odd name, told them she would prefer to deal with individuals directly rather than community groups. I bet she would and all. Saying I would assist one by one the people who are hungry, not their representatives. Petervello said, come one by one and I'll write down your ID. I'm going to write down their names, where they are from, and all of a sudden it'll just sort of like magically disappear with that piece of paper near the nearest bin. No, she didn't say that, but she did say, and they will receive help and individually, but you can guarantee what will happen. That piece of paper will just magically disappear near the nearest bonfire or in the bin. But community leaders said that system is impractical given the scale of the problem. After all, Argentina has a population of more than 45.5 million people, more than half of whom are impoverished. It can't be true. Rupert Law says that Argentina is on its uppers. They are absolutely riding the waves, you know. They're showing the world how it's done. Fucking moron. But anyway, receiving help individually, a little bit each just doesn't work, said Diane, I'll just say it's Diane Aquino. Sorry if I butchered it. Or Diana Aquino, a 32-year-old mother of one from La Cava who works, is when we organise and together do the work that our community needs and in places where no government ever comes. And she also said she's also part of a local cooperative in charge of cleaning streets, collecting rubbish and maintaining electrical connections. But over her lunch break, she told Al Jazeera that as a result of mental cases, era funding cuts, she's barely surviving. And also back in the soup kitchen, I think it's probably more got here. The coordinator smiles. She believes the only way forward is to invest in the community as a whole, saying this government wants people to think only about themselves. Yeah, it's far easier to crush this when they're on their own. When you're all together, it's a little bit like that clip in the Bug's Life. You know, James, that character's brother saying, "Why do we have to keep going over there? What? Who cares? You know, because if one rises, they all rise. It's sort of like crush them into it, you know." But anyway, it says this government wants people to think only about themselves, to save themselves, but we think the only way forward is to work together. Together, we are always stronger. Absolutely. When I remember reading that, and because when I saw that nonsense that fucking moron was spouting, I have to say I just couldn't believe what I was basically hearing. And when I read that, it was, I just can't get over that lovely little girl's smile. You know, no child deserves that. It's absolutely, it's diabolical. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I have heard a little something about some few people when they've been talking about this. You know, the Falklands. I think you're onto something. But yeah, in power and had the same inflation, unemployment, so they did the invasion to distract its people. Yeah. So you very much could be onto something. I don't know. Christmas was the worst ever. I'm sorry to hear that, Global Citizen. Hope things improve, but yeah. Yeah, you tried and tested. Yeah. But 50% living under the poverty line. People trading work for food, living a dream according to some. Yeah. Maybe Starmer would like that. Remember a certain iron lady. Yeah, it does sound horrible. Yeah, like you say, maybe they should get 30p layover there. Rich have done wonderfully in this new Argentina, and let's not forget that. But the middle class is now residual at most. Yeah, the rich have gotten even richer in Brexit land with the middle class now getting stuffed. Well, yeah, if you're middle class and you vote for Brexit, I suppose, well, you knew what you're voting for. But yeah, that's why isn't that media in the UK talking about it. Only one reason they're not media at all, on the pay of those rich people. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's desperate stuff. It just sounds desperate stuff there, and nobody needs to. But like, but let's. It. But anyway, maybe our what you call him, our shit-faced Rupert Lloyd could ask this man a bit of a solid, maybe get in contact with this turd of Turd Hall, maybe he could, do a favour for that family, let's be honest, he's an electrician, so he will definitely add to this crumbling economy. It was like, let's be honest, he did get paid about £40,000, you know, for nomad capitalists. So what do you say, Nigel? Can you do this family a solid?
Nigel Farage likes borders.
Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders. Borders.
And he doesn't like migrants.
Migrants. Migrants. Migrants. Hundreds of migrants. Economic migrants.
Sometimes he stands on top of the White Cliffs of Dover, pointing at migrants who are trying to reach the UK and qualify for a British passport in the hope of a better life. But it turns out there are some economic migrants that Nigel likes, and some borders he's happy to help them cross. Take a look at the new Register of Members' Interests, where MPs have to declare which second jobs they've taken. It turns out Farage was just paid £40,000 by a US-based company called Nomad Capitalist. According to their website, Nomad's mission is to help economic migrants transcend borders. But of course, these migrants are not fleeing persecution or desperate poverty. No, they're multimillionaires fleeing the taxman. And Nomad Capitalist is a wealth consultancy that advises them on how to qualify for passports from different countries so they can offshore their money. So, if you're a wealthy economic migrant, how can Nomad, and by extension Nigel Farage, help you? Well, Nomad say they can grow your passport portfolio and get you multiple second citizenships in different countries. They even tell people to leave your country now and dismiss America and Britain as legacy brand countries. Nomad Capitalist run the Nomad Passport Index, ranking the best passports that economic migrants should try to get their hands on, while showing them how to do it. Farage was just paid £40,000 to give a keynote speech at the Nomad International Conference in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Hundreds of wannabe taxation migrants gathered there to learn how they too can qualify for second, third and fourth passports from 28 different countries. And Nigel Farage was there to inspire them.
I was invited to speak to this group 2 years ago. This audience is about 3 times the size.
Indeed, Nomad billed its conference, the one where Farage spoke, as 4 glamorous days learning the most up-to-date offshore tax strategies. Britain is a wealthy country, but the gap between rich and poor is now, with the exception of the United States, the highest in the developed world. Our public services, like the NHS and schools, are crumbling. And one reason for all this is the ease with which the super rich can move their money overseas to avoid paying their fair share of tax. They can do that because there's an entire industry that exists to help them do it legally. And a British MP, Nigel Farage, works for that industry. For Farage, a world without borders is fine, as long as it's only for the super rich.
Take that as a no then. Yeah, what a shocker, yeah. Now, I only know, apparently that video was about a month old, but I only noticed it and about a day or two, and it just, and I have to say, you know, I have people who speak to and say they think that Nigel Farage is the bee's knees. They absolutely adore him. I had one person who during the last election sent me a Facebook page to join. Nigel Farage for PM, and I have to say, I thought I'll join it for a little bit, just for a little bit, and I started posting one or two, let's just say, trolling videos, especially the James O'Brien video, you know, where he absolutely destroyed him. You know, you remember that time when he had his leash handler Patrick O'Flynn trying to drag him out because he were getting absolutely destroyed. For some strange reason, I got kicked out. I don't know why. I've no idea what happened. I cannot understand from. I thought these were people with free speech warriors. Clearly not. Anyway, good evening, Spanked a Monkey, and also good evening, Phil McCracken. Hope you're well. Hope you both had a fantastic Christmas and New Year as well. I see the members of for Mar-a-Lago on see is using his expenses well. Yes. Whenever he says borders, I hear ball dust. You reckon he likes that too? I think he does as well. Yeah. And oh, thank you, Alistair. You know, but as I say, I just find people who follow these clowns. Do you know how I view them? I just view these clowns at Refuck as just leeches and parasites. You know, that clown Rupert Law, he probably thinks that hard work to him is, you know, just getting his phone out and looking, you know, his bank account to see how much his money has worked for him. You know, it's like he's just, well, that's all he's there for, isn't he? You know, to cause as much trouble as he possibly can, because he's not interested in people like us. You know, he just views us as the great unwashed, doesn't he? But yeah, and when I saw that, I just thought all three of them just beautifully mixed in together. It just, and it's still, some of them think that these people will. Good evening, and Andrew, and Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. I hope your MPs making complete clowns of themselves. Remember this clown? Yes. It's our Leaky Sue. She decided to do her a bit of a stint at LBC, and this woman, now I don't know what she's implying here, whether she can move countries to other parts of the world, or whether she's just not that thick, or whether she's just plainly thick.
As a result of that, the numbers fell. It was a deterrent. Italy have reinforced their borders. They built a wall. I went to see that wall. They built a wall on the land border between Italy and Turkey. They've got drones. They've got armoured vehicles. As a result of that, the numbers fell. It was a deterrent. Italy have reinforced their borders.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. Yes, according to our Leaky Sue. Yes. Yes, according to our Leaky Sue, yes, Italy built their border with a country that's over, is it 1,500 kilometres or miles away from them? Yes. Major shares on now, I'm sure if that donation were exactly true, which it isn't, then it would get spent on campaigning. Yes, but yes, the geography is not strong on this one. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Andrew. Yes. Yes, absolutely, Billy Kershaw. Braverman Continental Tours book now. What made it even funny when she says, I was there, I've seen it. And I love the little... Got excited, didn't she? Fair enough, I do it myself. I've done it myself. Oh dear, Happy New Year, Frederick Rotherford. Hope you've had a fantastic, wonderful Christmas, and hope you had a brilliant New Year as well. But yes. Something tells me I don't think she ever ran Wallace Arnold's either as well. Now there's a blast from the past. Somehow I don't think she'd get a job at P&O Ferries either. Well, they might do actually. have her running HR maybe. But yes, well, the thing is, it's not the first time she's made a bit of a clown of herself, has she? Remember this priceless interview. I'll just sit back and watch as she comes unstuck when she's asked rather difficult questions about the ERG. Absolutely hilarious.
Because a lot of you use public money as MPs to fund this group, the ERG.
The European Research Group has been in existence for many, many years, actually, and its express mission is to support the government to deliver a Brexit which is reflective of the result of the referendum and which is prosperity-led and successful.
You take public money?
It is funded by public money, and it has been for many years, yeah.
How many government ministers are in it?
I'm not going to say how many government ministers are in it because it is essentially a group of members
It's a
of Parliament
secret society, is it?
It's not a secret society. It's a European
research group. So why won't you say how many ministers are in it?
It's a group of MPs who are supporting the government to deliver a Brexit which works for everybody, representing all strands.
So why can't you tell us who's in it?
If
we pay for it, we ought to know who's in it.
It's a group of MPs which is committed to delivering the government's agenda.
Yeah, but who?
And supporting the government.
Sorry, you just said you take public money, therefore the public ought to know where its money is going. Who are the members?
It's all on the public record, and people are able to disclose their name. I've told you.
Where can we see the list?
That the members of the European Research Group are a group of MPs who support the government's agenda in delivering.
But where can we see the list of members?
The list of members is kept by the European Research Group.
So where can we see it? The people who pay for it.
It's available if necessary.
I'm asking you, therefore it's necessary. Where can I see this list?
It's available because everyone has to declare...
Okay, well, can I have it?
This is not something but I can definitely provide that. It's a list of MPs who make clear their declarations of contributions to the European Research Group. It funds a researcher who is providing research on a parliamentary basis for matters to do with the European Union.
Suella, thank you very much indeed.
Okay.
Sorry for laughing, but all I could think of as she were talking, it was beep, beep, beep. This vehicle is reversing. This vehicle is reversing. Oh, exactly, Alistair. Backpedaling furiously, she could power a small town. Yeah, it did sound like a bit of a broken record. Well, it's got a point, you know. If they're using public money, don't you think we should be allowed to know who's, using it? Who's in it? You know. Oh, we're going to Rwanda. Oh, sunny country. Oh, I'm off to see my girlfriend. Suella booked a flight for me. You may mock, but it could possibly happen because earlier today, our good friend, gulping Chris Phibbs, he said he believes that Labour have made a terrible mistake scrapping the Rwanda deterrent scheme before it started. If it was a deterrent, but clearly he's not. He's forgotten one little problem. He's not on GBB, so he's not going to have his belly tickled, is he? And you can always tell when he's going to tell an absolute lie because he gulps, doesn't he? It makes it obvious.
Labour made a terrible mistake by scrapping the Rwanda deterrent scheme before it even started. The first plane had been due to take off on the 24th of July, and we saw a deterrent scheme quite similar to the Rwanda scheme work in Australia about 10 years ago.
Did it work, though? Did it work? A million pounds per migrant it cost to offshore them. Some might say that's a disaster.
Well, no, if you think about the cost of illegal migration, we're currently paying £4 or £5 billion a year to house and accommodate all these illegal migrants that have crossed the channel.
Due to the lack of processing under your own term in Parliament. It ground to a virtual halt, didn't it?
But the point I'm making is that the deterrent effect of sending people to Rwanda, or in the case of Australia, they went to Nauru, the cost of that is smaller than the cost of illegal migration. And in Australia, it did work because their illegal maritime arrivals, as they called them, were running at about 50,000 a year back in about 10 years ago, and they reduced it to 0 thanks to the deterrent effect. So that, I think it would have worked, and it was a terrible mistake of Labour to cancel that scheme before it started, and we've seen this 29% increase as a result. And the measures they've announced today really won't make any difference at all. The National Crime Agency themselves has said that law enforcement, of course, is important, but the National Crime Agency have said alone it won't fix the problem. You do need a deterrent.
OK, so if Rwanda was a deterrent, how come in the first 6 months of the year that we had the highest levels of people coming to this country irregularly ever, higher than last year and even higher than 2022 when it reached a record high? So it's 5% higher than the record year. So that suggests it wasn't a deterrent at all.
Well, of course, it hadn't started, right? The first plane hadn't taken off. It wasn't due to take off until the 24th of July, and you wouldn't expect the deterrent effect to start until the planes take off.
Yeah. I've noticed they all seem to be saying that same thing. Oh, well, if we'd have won the election, knowing full well they never were they? They were never going to win the election. Them planes would have taken off. And that's... But yeah. So now, it's not something I've really looked up a lot on when it comes to the... because they do seem to talk a lot about what they did in Australia. Was it say £1 million or $1 million per migrant? My God, that's a lot of money for one migrant or refugee, asylum seeker. Because they're like, they like to say economic migrant because to make it or fighting. Is it fighting men? They like to say, make it out as though they should be out there fighting their war and whatnot. and like, yeah, spanked a monkey. You're not wrong. His pants were well on fire. I'm surprised the fire alarms didn't go off in the studio as he was talking. Is he autistic or something? Or just cunt? I would probably say, the latter, Joe, Yeah. Go on, Cruella. Start talking about Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig World. Phil Maitland says, Happy New Year, you're a lying git. Yes, absolutely, spanked donkey. Yes, you are lying. You are lying. Yes. Yes. I think we both agree with Alice there. Yes, definitely the latter. That's all it basically is. How much money was wasted on this game? Let's just say a lot. Definitely. See you next Tuesday. Yes. If I could manage to sort out polls on here, and I ask people to say, you have two questions. Let's just say, is Chris Phibbs see you next Tuesday, yes or no? What's the chances are it'll be 100% yes? Yes. Reminds me of the kid telling lies in the playground until someone smacks him in the head. Yes. But yes. Yeah, don't need a poll. Yes. Can we have plenty of yeses in the chat, please? But like but then I saw this brilliant conversation.
No, you've got people struggling financially in this country who are having to.
This is just a brilliant conversation. Just like, you know, got a lot of people, as I say, you've got a lot of people struggling in this country, people coming over here for get a phone, food and warm housing. And I'm not listened to a lot of Matthew, right? But he does seem to know how to, there's always one who shows off, isn't that the right, Joe? You know, how many languages do you speak? Yes, even my lovely daughter agrees. But I love the way he just calmly just breaks down this. Well, you could tell he's just basically listened to the. Clearly, he more or less watches GBBs. I love the way he just calmly just breaks him down and just makes him look uncomfortable. Well, doesn't make him look uncomfortable because, let's be honest, if he only feels uncomfortable because he knows what he's saying is quite toxic, I suppose.
No, you've got people struggling financially in this country who are having to pay for broadband, internet, their phone, food, housing. And what it is, people see them coming over and they're getting given a phone, and they're getting it topped up by the government, by us taxpayers. They're getting food, 3 meals a day. They're getting warm housing, whether that be private or in a hotel. It's just that's where I think he was getting
Do you think people who came from Ukraine were entitled to come here from the war, fleeing the war?
I think I think everyone's entitled because freedom of movement has happened for centuries, and since the Viking era, they've always moved around and that. But it's just because of the amount of people coming now, and it's down to the right.
Isn't the solution? Isn't the simplest solution just to process people and find out who has a right to be here and who doesn't?
No, Matt. We need to simplify the process. We need to actually say to them, if you come over with a family, you've got more of a tax.
Well, no. Surely the critical thing is, let's say that's why I asked you about Ukraine. If you come from a war, right?
Yeah.
And you have a reason to be here, you might have family here already. You speak English. If you're fleeing a war, as people have from Ukraine, might we welcome the people from Ukraine? Why won't we welcome people, say, from Afghanistan, who are also fleeing a war that we were actually actively involved in? We bombed them out of their own homes.
See, that's an awkward conversation. Whether you want to have
it's a very simple conversation because either we look at people who flee war as refugees in need of help. If I was involved in if there was a war in my country and I fled, I would hope that someone would offer me sanctuary. What we seem to have is, it's okay if you come from a war in Ukraine, which is a predominantly white country, but heaven help you if you flee a war in the Middle East.
Boom. Absolutely spot on. Because you could tell he looked incredibly uncomfortable, didn't he? It's like you could just see he was just slumping down. and you sort of thinking, good God, I've got to listen to this. Don't worry about it, my dear Scott. You won't be offending anybody here. We all love you. Yes. Does he like Frank Zappa? Yeah. I watched a bit of an interesting video about him a day or two ago, where they were basically saying that he seemed to have predicted the future. It was quite an interesting one. I can't remember where I saw it, but what it was interesting. But yeah, not polishing my ego. 5 as a native and couple more. Thanks to work and my parents who worked for a living, baker. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we can safely say that. I think we'll safely say that the reason is because he's been watching the right-wing talking points, and you get it all on GBBs and that other turgid program and Talk TV. God, I will never understand why anybody would want to watch that bollocks. And yeah, they got brown faces in it. I think you hit on something there, Spank the Monkey. Yes, it's because they're brown faces. Yes, cartoon, you mean, the Daily, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it, my friend Scott. You can stroke it, caress it, tickle it, even press it. It's entirely up to you what you do with it. The like button in the privacy of your own home, just do it. You know you want to. Well, yes, if you want to have a crazy new year, hit the like button. Right, he's actually talking some sense. Yes, yes. Well, yeah. I just saw them videos. I just thought they were just brilliant. But yes. All right, we're gonna head across the pond for a couple of hilarious videos where we're going to have a little stroll down Amnesia Lane, where we get a little exclusive video of the interview with our orange one. And remember that clown called Dr. Phil? And it's all wonderfully put together by the fantastic Maggie Reed. Let's just say it's absolutely brilliant. I think this young lady is a comic genius. I think she's brilliant how she does it. Sit back and just giggle.
All right, everybody, quiet on the set. Donald, Phil, are you guys ready to film?
You look well. I feel good.
Okay, so what I'm going for in this first scene is just a lot of tension before we get into the good stuff. And action!
Get the dad dancing out. It's not bad, Phil.
This is great. I'm feeling the heat between you two. Okay, Donald, I want you to lick your lips. And again. Love your reaction, Phil. Okay, keep it going, keep it going. Okay, Donald, have you ever done anything like this before?
I had probably 25 guys over the course of a couple of months.
Ooh.
And how about you, Phil?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So whenever you're ready, just, get to it. Wow. Keep it up, guys. I can really tell how much you like each other. This is going to be a hit.
I love how she does this. It's just absolute genius. Yes, a Barry White moment. Dr. Phil is waiting for the prunes to take effect. You're not wrong there. Odin's being... Oh, my put them in tomato sauce with peas. But yes, I bet you now you totally understand the reason why he won the election. But anyway, Maggie Reed gets about because not only did she do the interview, she actually did the weirdest supporting character in the 2024 election. And guess who gets the Oscar?
Thank you. Weird. That's just one word to describe our next category. And the nominees for Weirdest Supporting Character in the 2024 election are Brainworm, RFK Jr.
We'll put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a lightning.
Hannibal Lecter, Donald J. Trump.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter, he'd like to have you over for dinner.
Couch, J.D. Vance.
And when I get that feeling,
Shark Boat Battery, Donald J. Trump.
What would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there?
And the Oscar goes to Hannibal Lecter, Donald J. Trump.
Yes, they'll be needing to renew those White House coaches. Certainly will. Jumping Jack Flash, maybe. That was an excellent Maggie Reed. She's absolutely brilliant. Oh dear. End it with YMCA. Oh, you may. Well, let's just say, did anybody, speaking of the YMCA, did anybody see the New Year party at Mar-a-Lago? Well, we get a little bit of a look of what actually happened, and what I want to know is, what's that buzzing when Laura Loomer's singing? Clearly, there's a bit of a buzzing. I want to know, what's that buzzing?
They had a New Year's Eve party at Mar-a-Lago last night. Do you want to recap? We're going to start with the performance first. It's Lara Trump.
Oh, it's a bit quiet as that.
Listen, I know they have a hard time getting performers, but whoo, boy. Laura, maybe just stick to whatever else it is that you do on a regular basis. The Vances were in attendance. JD's eyeliner looking just impeccable as usual. How did he land her? She must be crazy or horrible. I don't know. Matt Gates' wife, Ginger, posted this photo. You never forget a New Year's Eve at Mar-a-Lago. Wow, nice photo. But someone pointed out that this is from 2021. They weren't there, so I'm pretty sure Matt didn't get an invite. There was also dancing, as to be expected at a New Year's Eve party. What is more dancing to their favorite iconic gay anthem, YMCA by the Village People. That buzzing sound you're hearing is Tom Petty spinning in his grave.
Yes, that was Tom Petty spinning in his grave. Sorry if you couldn't quite hear what Laura Loomer was destroying, but it was Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. The ghost of Tom Petty will be absolutely spinning in. Yeah, do the dark dance. Yes. They dance like they're held at gunpoint. I wonder who else says that, my lovely daughter. Yes, they both did look like they were both being held at gunpoint. Yes. Melania left early. The driver was waiting, and the gardener, and the security guard. What are you insinuating, Joe? Yeah, exactly. That's the held captive. I'll say I didn't realise that the music will be as quiet as that, but we have to say a little dance was fine. You will dance when I say so. German accent here. We have ways of making you dance. Now, we have what I found interesting. We hear about that Tesla car exploding outside, was it Trump Towers or one of Trump's buildings? Now, I don't know too much about it. It's not something that I've really looked at it, but am I right in here? Somebody passed away, was killed in the explosion. Now, I can't quite remember. I'm sure somebody. Yes. Tell you folks, nothing confuses an American or a British tourist than answering them in German. Hilarious. Yes, we have ways of making you dance at gunpoint. Yes. Was it at Trump Casino, Las Vegas? Ah, yes. Yes, Cybertruck. Now, this is interesting. It was the driver. Ah, yes, I thought I heard so. But you just couldn't make it up, could you? You know, we barely, not long before his administration's gone, that'll be what you could say. How can I put it? You know the word I'm after. You know, it will just be forever. It's one thing I will enjoy. I enjoy listening is Nick Abbott's A to Z of the year, and guarantee when C comes up, Cybertruck will be the word that comes out. Will they? They'll never forget what happened. Will they? Is it a sign?
2025 is off to a banging start. Remember the Cybertruck? Yeah. Hey, that straight up looks like a barbecue. Hey. I see a new recall in Tesla's future, but there was something perfect that came out of that. If a Cybertruck burning in front of a Trump Tower isn't the perfect symbol heading into 2025, I don't know what is. Stay safe out there and try to avoid any Cybertrucks if you can. They seem to be a little jumpy.
Certainly are. Now, yeah, I've heard one or two conspiracies. Oh, what are you doing, Daz, you tit? Just give me a quick minute. Give me a... Oh, better pig's ear of that. Yeah. Or say I want too far off. Press the wrong button there. But, like, I've heard, yeah, it's like they were saying that Tesla driver's already dead, but maybe just rumour. Yeah, I've been hearing loads of rumours. You don't know what's the truth, but I watched this little bit of a news article, which I found, it just seems to me that just sums up Tesla up to a in a nutshell from what we've been hearing. It just seemed to be a walking disaster area.
Dead Teslas packed the parking lot at this Tesla supercharging station in Oak Brook, a scene mirrored in other supercharging stations.
This is crazy. It's a disaster. Seriously.
With temperatures falling into the negative double digits, these charging ports have stopped charging, leaving many Tesla owners stranded here in long lines since Sunday.
Nothing, no juice. It's still on 0%. And this is like 3 hours this morning being out here, after being out here 8 hours yesterday.
Has it been charging?
No, not at all.
It just isn't working?
At all. It's just frozen, and so I'm now getting it towed to the Tesla service center because that's my only option at this point.
Adding to their frustration, they say, is that they're getting no help when they call Tesla for assistance.
No response from Tesla. We have been suffering since yesterday afternoon.
These are unusually cold temperatures, but do you find this acceptable?
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead robots.
Yeah, I have to say that, pardon me, I have to say that the more and more I hear about these Teslas, they just seem to be just a bit of a con. A terrible machine, not not a favourite here. Yeah, battery packs have faults, and the charges. Yes, sums up everything that Elon puts his name to. It's like the Midas touch in reverse. Everything turns to shit. Yeah, I'd go along with that. Because it just seems to be anything it's as if he's so rich. I don't think he really cares. But this is a really interesting take from this guy. I found this. I found what he had to say was very, very interesting. I thought I'll play this to you, see what you think. I think Pliers Mittal, sorry if I butchered it, he goes on, Elon Musk's authoritarian impulses are well known. He bought Trump because he can't be president himself. And now he's building a company town in Texas so he can control every aspect of his employers' lives. I found what he had to say very, very interesting.
This may be the greatest Republican self-own we'll see in the next 10 years. Elon Musk has so successfully brainwashed his own people that they now want to create a city called Starbase, Texas, a town where employees of a company work, governed by an employee of the company. I feel like there's a name for that. They want to create a company town. I remember those from the history books that I've read. Company towns were famous because the company owned all of the property, and because the CEO had sole authority over the lives of the people who live there and work there, they were able to make rules like everybody who lives there must go to church, and alcohol is illegal. One company town even banned dancing. But the most famous company town was Ludlow, Colorado. Does Ludlow ring a bell for anyone? About 100 years ago, Ludlow was a bustling coal mining town. But when these workers who lived in shanties and temporary housing realized that having your boss be in charge of your entire life was a bad thing, they unionized and they went on strike, which led the CEO to work with the Colorado National Guard to come in and declare war on the striking workers. In this attack, 21 people were killed, including the wives and children of workers. The government instructing the National Guard to work with the corporation? That kind of sounds like Trump's mass deportation plan. In fact, it kind of sounds like every single idea that Trump and Musk have ever cooked up together in history. And what better place to do it than in Texas, where history books are heavily revised to omit this kind of detail. But don't worry, as long as they don't, elect a armed guard to be the mayor, it probably won't go sideways. Oops.
Oops, indeed. Exactly, Alistair. Oh my fucking God. When the rich... when we reach the point, even cheap Chinese machines are more reliable than a Tesla. Everything has been said, certainly as we are. Tesla deliveries dropped into the minus for the first time in the company's history, and the shares are dropping like a stone. Elon could go bust if this continues. That's interesting. Yeah. And it was to turn it compulsory church, no booze. Not for me then. No, I think I'll give it a pass as well, Steve Bennon. Yeah, totally agree. No beer and bacon, and I am either starting a revolution or a new religion. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Joe. And as you can guarantee, now that those that voted for President Trump, they're now starting to realise they've got President Musk, and let's just say, what could possibly go wrong? I think this is hilarious, and I just think it sums it up beautifully.
No, you do not push and shove
have anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, I can't answer any more questions until I have a parent or lawyer present.
Miss Smith?
Whoever wrote it probably didn't think anyone would ever see it.
I hope that nobody else ever does see it.
Mom, can you pick me up? I'm scared.
Janice Ian Dyke.
Oh, that's original.
You get a function.
Hey, that's only okay when I say it. Did you write this? No, I swear.
Then you told somebody. She told. You little bitch. You're a bitch.
Yeah, take your top off.
Now here's what we're gonna do.
Ron,
We're gonna...
come quick. They've gone wild. The girls have gone wild. It was full tilt jungle madness. And it wasn't going away.
I pulled these two off each other. Coach Carr, step away from the underage girls. Let me help you down there. Whoa! Hell no! I did not leave the South Side for this.
Oh, crap! My hair!
Yes. Seems the MAGA, the Trump administration and MAGA seem to be getting on like a house of. But anyway. And what does how's the relationship between Trump and Elon Musk going on? Well, we've got pictures at the Oval Office. Yes, I think we can safely say, arise, President Musk. Yes. I think we know who's the real president now, and it's not our Donald Trump. But, you know, these MAGA fans, they knew what they were voting for. But, yes, Aspholius Maximus, yes. Elon changed his name to just Maximus, yes. And finally, because I get the feeling Reagan Elite will be doing a show at 7, so this will be the final video. We just got there in time. And this show, when I watch this, let's just say, this is just absolutely bonkers. And it just shows you where the country is today. This is... Now, I'm not saying that all Americans are think, but my God, clearly this one skipped maths. And let's just say he's ready to absolutely burst an aneurysm.
I'm sorry, what are you saying now?
I was asking about your New Year's resolution, and I said that mine was that I'm going to put a quarter in the jar every single day for the next year, which is 365 days. And at the end of the year, I'm going to have over $10,000. A quarter a day. That's all it takes.
I'm sorry, baby, your math is not mathing in any way possible.
My math is fine. It's 25 cents every
Times
day
365.
of 2025 of the year 2025.
How many?
25
Whoa. How many days in a year?
365 days.
Okay. Times 0.25. Multiply that for me.
Is 10,000. And then
Baby, let's just do it simple. Stop talking. Stop. 365 times 1. We'll make it simple. What is that?
365.
Got it. And a quarter is a quarter of 1.
A quarter is like a quarter is 25 cents. 25.
Yes. 25 cents is how much of a dollar?
One. It's not multiplying by 1. It's multiplying by 25.
No, baby. So it's even less than multiplying by 1. It's multiplying by 0.25.
You're multiplying it by 1 like a penny. That doesn't work that way. It's 25. It's going to be $10,000 at the end of the year. That's my New Year's resolution.
Math is, I am math. Like, you're fucking like, you know what you're doing. My head is going to explode. Baby, 365 times a quarter each day is nowhere near $10,000.
Yes, it is.
Are you talking about
Get a calculator out. Get a calculator.
I am a calculator.
You're not a calculator.
Baby, 365 times maybe $25 a day could be close to like 10,000. It's like 9,000 something. But 25 cents a day for a year.
It's 25 pennies. You're doing it by 1 penny. Like 1. 1 times 360. Yeah, that's going to be 365.
Fuck, I
but
can't.
25, multiply that every single day for 365 days is going to be around $10,000.
Like, we're visibly going to record like a stroke. Like, I fucking cannot.
Oh dear. Oh my God. Now, like I said there, it says somebody skipped maths class. So clearly one of them is in the wrong. Something tells me, I get the feeling it's the young lady. That's the feeling I'm getting. Like you say, Alistair, Reagan elite, he's not on tonight. Ah, well, yeah, I get the feeling you could be right there, Alistair. Yeah. Dear. I was sat there watching and you think, you could see the steam ready to come out of his ears, wasn't there? Aqua orange. Yes. Well, anyway, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. A future McDonald's employee, lend us some money at 2%. Yeah, she seemed to have that. What's the word I'm after? That cocksure attitude. That I'm right. And my brain was not working on that. Oh, don't worry about it. I get the feeling neither was hers. Don't worry about it. No worries, Frederick Rothler. Thanks for stopping by. Do you know what? I enjoy doing these live streams on a Friday. Just a bit of a good laugh, lights out. We had a bit of serious stuff in the middle when it comes to Argentina, and you just think, wow. And but other than that, laughed at the clowns in the Conservative Party, still thinking that Rwanda is. So thank you for your company, Chris. No worries, Scott. Will you be on Politics Social later on, Scott? But yeah, I do enjoy doing these because it also helps with me. It just helps. Not only with my confidence, get better at it, get better at live streams and feel more comfortable doing them, but helps with my patter as well. I also enjoy doing these little light-hearted little skits where we just all have a bit of a laugh together and a bit of fun. Don't take things too seriously. So I'll just say Hungerous Absolute. Yes. Yeah. I might just pop in. Hope you, if I am, I won't be on for too long because football's on tomorrow and it's an early start, 12:30 kickoff, so I'll be having to get up early. I've always been a 3:00 Saturday type of man. But never mind. It's the way it is. But anyway, I say I enjoy doing these now. Because before I thought I'd do them for a couple of times, see how I feel, and if I feel comfortable doing them. But the more I've done them, the more I've enjoyed doing it, and more I enjoy doing it, and more I look forward to doing it. And especially having a chat with you guys. Always a pleasure to have a chat and speak to you. So half 4 kickoff, but before breakfast, 12:30 in after the match. They are naughty. We've had some naughty altercations with the Grimsby fans. There's a pub just round the corner from ground where we go to, call it Bradford Arms, and it's the designated away end. And the year before, 2 years ago, they decided to destroy the pool table in there, and swinging off the lights practically destroyed the place. And the year after, they walked in gloating, saying it was them that did it. Then they were snorting lines of coke up the nose, and then last bit were telling us, then they jumped on tables, pulled the strides down, and waving their little petit pois and French carrots about. She says, I won't mind, but they didn't really have much to show anyway. So I just said to them, maybe this year, get your magnifying glasses at the ready. When they're on tables, ready to embarrass themselves, just pull them up. What's that? But anyway, I'm just going to say, hope you all have a fantastic. You will be having a kippers for breakfast, a Lord Flashart reference. Kippers for breakfast. It'll be a full breakfast in a local cafe. But but they do sell some pints of Moretti and Stara Praben. Is that what I call it? Excellent. Is it Slovakian beer? Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you too. And enjoy yourself, Sam. And I'm just going to say, right, I shall bid you farewell, and I shall let you have the wonderful weekend. Hopefully you'll have a prosperous new year as well. And hopefully I'll have some content for Monday. If I get a chance, it'll be either late Monday night or possibly late Tuesday. But I'll just say, have a fantastic weekend. Have a prosperous new year. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for watching my Friday Frolic. And I'll just see you later and take care. Bye, friends. I'll just wait.